Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Mr. Almighty Lewis back at you with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how not everybody cares as much as you do. Alright, so if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit the notification icon. So, here's the thing. You may be into some sort of journey, you may be into some sort of, thing that you feel very passionate about. You love it. You love every single aspect about it. It could be writing, it could be reading, it could be music, it could be whatever. You're a very creative person in some sort of area. And so you're very passionate about it. Anytime that topic comes up, you have something to say, and you're very knowledgeable in that topic, and you know what I mean, right? And then you start to realize that sometimes, there's people who don't really give a shit. You might have tried to talk to people around you, about whatever that topic is. It could be writing, let's just say, right? You have a passion for writing, and so you write constantly because you have a passion for writing. I hope you're writing every single day, and you're not. Like I said, I've made a video prior to this. I mean, not prior to this, but I have one in my channel where I talk about like how you shouldn't actually just learn and learn and learn and not actually take any action. So if you're struggling with that, you can go watch that video. But right now, let's just talk about what we're talking about. So let's just say you're very passionate about writing, right? So you have a couple of your writings and they're very cool and everything, right? So you go and you start sharing your writings with people. You show it to them. You're like, look, man, check this out. And then people read it. Maybe your friends are like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool, man. I like it. That's awesome, man. Keep doing your thing, right? And deep down, you kind of feel like, this person doesn't really give a fuck. They're kind of just telling me that, yeah, it's cool, but they're not giving me any feedback. They're not giving me anything to work with. They're just saying either I like it or I dislike it. But like, that's pretty much it. There's no passion behind it. There's no passion behind their feedback. And the thing is that, some people just don't care. They just don't care as much as you do because everybody has their own passions. Everybody has their own thing going. Everybody has their own particular set of things that they really love, and then everything else is sort of like, it's there, it's cool, but who gives a shit, right? I have some of those, and you have some of those. So the thing is that what you don't realize is that sometimes you may have there may be something in your life right now that you really love to do, but nobody around you is passionate about it. And what happens when that's the case? I had this happen to me in particular with personal development. So I studied personal development for the first couple of years that I was studying this. Nobody around me really liked that. I would share with people, and they'd be like, "Yeah, that's pretty cool. That actually sounds good. It sounds right. It sounds like it makes sense to me. Like wow. I feel more motivated right now and everything. But like nobody really cared. Like I could feel that nobody really cared and nobody really took any sort of massive interest in what I was saying about personal development or personal development in general. They just didn't like it, and." And so eventually, I started to feel a little bit bad about this, which is perfectly natural because you're getting rejected left and right. People aren't liking your stuff. But the thing is, it's not that they don't like your stuff or that they don't like your specific work or whatever it is, right? It's just that they don't like the damn thing, the whole topic in general. So no matter how well you do it, no matter how brilliant you come off in your work, like for this example, like I'm saying, like no matter how brilliant, how well crafted your writing is, at the end of the day, if the person doesn't like writing, they don't like to read. It's not gonna matter. They're not gonna see the value in your writing. It doesn't matter how good you write it. They'll just say, yeah, it's cool, or they'll just be like, I just kind of found it a little boring, like it's just not my thing, They might say something like that. And that's just not good feedback. And the thing is that, to some degree, you might start to feel a little bit discouraged if everybody around you is doing the same thing, which could happen. Eventually, you might be telling all your friends around you, and who knows, probably all of them won't share that same passion. It could just be that. Especially if you're just starting off with personal development, you haven't really done the job of surrounding yourself with people who have the same interests and the same passions, which is why it's so important. Like, there's that saying that you become the average of the five people you hang around with. Well, that's pretty much it. If your five people around you do not like your passion, they don't share it, chances are you might end up giving that up. You might end up giving up your passion for writing if nobody around you likes writing, because there's nobody really there to really support you in the beginning stages. Now, of course, you can still do it. Obviously, if you study personal development and you study, all of this stuff, and you start to, like, sort of, you know, quit, sort of the, being you quit, spending so much time with the people who you are around with, and you start to spend more time with, let's just say, online writers. Maybe on YouTube you find a couple people who love writing, and they teach writing and stuff like that. And so you might want to spend more time there than you do with the people around you, at least for now, until you're able to find, you know, passionate writers in person. That should be the main goal. But for now, you can transition the people into online and really look up to them, because they have a passion for writing, and they will give you some real good feedback. They'll actually teach you real stuff, good stuff that you can actually apply and implement into your writing in order to improve it and make it better. But like I said, there's going to be a lot of people who probably won't share your passion, and this can lead to you just stopping and really quitting your passion. And that's really why I'm making this video, because I don't want you to do that. Like I said, I've been there. I've been there with personal development, and to this day, I still teach personal development. And as a matter of fact, I actually have people around me who love personal development now. I actually don't hang out with people who don't like personal development, because it just becomes a problem later down the road, because this is one of my passions. And so if they don't share the same passion, if I can't share some of the knowledge that I have in this particular industry, then it sort of creates a problem, because it's my passion. And if I'm not able to share it with them, well, then that's constricting my identity by a huge portion of it, because it's one of my biggest passions here. It's what's really fueling everything else that I'm doing. Because this isn't everything I do, obviously. I also do marketing. I do music. I actually, as a matter of fact, I do writing as well. And you know, uh, for all of those things that I do, I'm using personal development behind the scenes in order to get those things to move forward and progress. And so there's really, like, no way where personal development isn't present. So I'm always constantly, like, scouting and looking for people who like personal development, and the people who don't, well, I just cut them off very easily. I cut them off because, like I said, in the long run, it's just going to become a problem. It's going to become hectic, and I just don't want that. I really don't want that. So, like, yeah. So that's the thing right there. So every time that you find yourself in this position where nobody else shares the same passion as you do, nobody really cares as much as you do, don't worry about it. And the second thing I want to say is, don't try to force these people to like the thing that you like. I know, because I know you may feel tempted. With your friends, you might be like, hey, you know what, like, why don't you get into it? Like, there's this thing about this thing and thing, and like I said, you're gonna be very passionate about it, and you're gonna be able to find all the angles and try to find something, for these people to like. But the thing is that at the end of the day, you don't want it to be forced. You don't want these people forcefully liking and agreeing with your passion, because it's fake. It's really gonna be fake if you're really at the end of the day. And I'm sorry to say this, but yeah, it's just gonna be fake. Like, people are just gonna be like, hey, you know what? Okay, you know what? I think it's cool. I think it's cool. That's very cool, and whatever, and this and that, this and that. So, like, you always have to allow everybody to just fall in love with whatever it is that you love as well. So, and that does happen. which is why I think you should still share what you love with those individuals, with your friends, with your family, with whoever it is that you have around. They should be very clear that you have a very strong passion for that particular thing, because then that gives them the choice, and they know that they have a choice, unconsciously or subconsciously. They know they have a choice. They have a choice to find and relate with that passion. It doesn't have to be at the same level, but they have that option to be like, hey, you know what? I really admire this person. I like this person. He's a good friend. He's whatever. I actually want to relate with him, so I'm going to actually put in some hours, some work. I'm going to spend some of my resources into, getting myself knowledge and immersing myself into whatever it is that you're doing. So in this case, it could be writing, right? Maybe one of your friends, realizes that you love to write, and that person is very, close to you. So then you'd be like, writing, you like to write. Let me actually try this out. So then maybe they go and they write a couple poems or something, or, you know, because writing, is very big. There's a lot of stuff you can write. You can write books, you can write poems, you can write screenplays, you can write songs, and I've actually done all of those. And you can write blogs, you can write for marketing. I've done all of those writings, and let me tell you, they all have a different feeling. It's all a different type of writing, even though it's writing in of itself. At the end of the day, it's all different particular writing. You write very differently for all those things. So, that individual may find some sort of strong passion for one particular style of writing, but that has to come out of them. You can't just forcefully force these people to like writing just because they're your friends. No, but it's important that they know what that passion is. That way, if they want to make that effort, that's really up to them. And if they do make that effort and they end up actually, liking the part of writing and actually finding some sort of passion behind it, then that's great. Then that's really the people you want to have around, because not a lot of people are willing to do that. Not a lot of people are willing to go out of their way and learn something that perhaps they don't. Now if they don't like it, if they just have like some sort of like idea or something about writing that they just hate it for some reason, then you probably don't want to be with that person. You probably want to. You're looking at really cutting that person off right now, because if they hate it, not only do they like, are they like neutral to it, because you see, if they're neutral to it, there's a possibility that something can change, right? Because they're neutral to it. They don't have a particular opinion. They don't like it or hate it. But if they hate it and they've made a decision to hate it for whatever reason, then it's pretty much over, because if it's gonna be like a contradictory thing here, back and forth. Like if this person hates, if you have a passion, you feel something, a very strong passion for something, and the other person hates it, they don't like it, then this relationship is gonna topple. Like, sure, maybe you guys can go on your own ways and respect each other's views and not attack each other, but as a friendship, it's pretty much not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Now, sure, there could be exceptions, and there could be times where the friendship is just so strong that the other person would just drop the hate for whatever they just say they hated writing. Yes, there will be times when the friendship will be that strong to the point where they'll just be like, all right, you know what? I'll just drop my hate for writing. But who knows? They might go to neutral, and then from neutral you can take them to actually liking writing. So there is that possibility, but you can't really force anybody to get into that. You can't. This has to be something that's genuine. This has to be something that they choose for themselves. But at the end of the day, like I said, there's just gonna be people who just don't really care as much as you do, and that's perfectly fine. You gotta be okay with that, because not everybody's meant to like the stuff that you like. No one. No one is meant to like that shit. You may love it to death, but they don't. And they might have something else that they love to death that you don't. So you have to consider that as well. So have some empathy, because A lot of people lack empathy these days. I could name a few people that I'm not, but empathy is extremely important. So have some empathy and be like, hey, you know what? I have a particular thing that I really love and I have a passion for it, and this other individual also has something like that, but it's not the same thing, and that's perfectly fine. You don't have to hate anybody for not liking and loving the same thing that you do, but you should choose people around you who do. Like I said, right now I have a big passion for personal development, and I am not gonna admit anybody into my life who does not like it. All right, especially people who hate it. People who hate it have gone or gone from my life like they've been gone for a couple years already. The people who remain now are people who love personal development, who like it, and people who are neutral to it because there's a possibility they could end up liking it in the future. But other than that, they're gone. They gone far. Anyway, just realize this. Make sure that you don't give up just because the people around you don't love it as much as you do. It does not mean that you're doing anything wrong or that you're into the wrong thing. It just means that these people are just not into it, and that's pretty much it. It has nothing to do with you. They just don't like the freaking whatever it is that you're into. They just don't share the same love, the same passion for it, and that's fine. You can't expect that from people. You can't expect that from everybody. All right. So you just gotta accept that fact, and like I said, go online if you really need that support. If you need somebody to share your same likes, your same passion, and eventually find people in the real world out here that actually share that same passion. That way, you guys are all in congruency, and you guys can all push each other forward. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button, the notification button, and there'll be some videos right here so you guys can go ahead and check out more of my content. In the meantime, I'll see you guys in the next video.